Greetings, everybody. We're back around the table again today to continue our talk on the Kershaw Boilermaker. It's a unique one.
That's a good way to put it.
Is that going to be the most positive statement about this knife tonight?
No, there's a couple things I like about it.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Hater.
I'm actually...
I know,
I'm the highest score.
There are definitely things to like about this knife.
Right.
I like the little touch of the Kershaw through the handle scale.
Which is a callback to another R.J. Martin design, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they had done it, fitted in here as opposed to adding just a random second window.
Yeah.
R.J. Martin or Rexford, the copperhead? No, this is a Les George design.
Oh, Jesus.
But is everyone all together here?
Yeah, I'm aware.
3 different names.
I was thinking the Todd Rexford with the copperhead.
That's
the window.
I got
ZT.
I was thinking RJM for some reason.
Yeah.
RMJ.
This is Les George.
Yes.
All right, we're on the same page here.
Now we are.
That's a different guy, Joe.
You didn't know either. And for the record, there's 3 of them.
So I'm so torn about that little window thing. It is such a neat little geeky touch that I really do enjoy it. But it inherently makes it a mismatch scale in one-sided, and it bugs me. So I like
everything about this is a mismatch.
Oh, I know.
Scale, though.
I know, but we're just talking about the window.
I know.
So.
I know.
It is nice. It is nice to see a sterile blade, as it's called, even with a little bit of billboarding on the other side. It's not
mix matched as well. Come on, like
well, I mean, if they could have done billboarding on the handle, but no.
Anyway,
yeah.
I do actually like the fact that they did keep it, but I think they were trying to show off this PVD brown and then brown wash. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just sounds bad when you say it.
The brown wash.
Just don't think about it too hard. That's all.
This is the color you see in every single zombie game from now and like forever.
Like the post-apocalyptic,
yeah,
already degraded.
rust, things like that. Like,
Yeah.
It's not a bad color. I mean, visually speaking, knowing that isn't rust, it looks nice.
It's an interesting look.
Yeah, I really like it, but as far as like the blade and the handles, it's a bit much. But if it was just the treatment on the blade or just the treatment on the handles, like, it's a nice design element.
Yeah, matching that with a different color handle would be pretty cool.
Yeah, even if it was just a black handle and they just did the brown PVD, like whatever it may be, just on the blade itself, I think I would have liked that more.
It's a poop knife.
It's not as bad as the wrinkle or whatever it's called, but this is not.
The wrinkle,
That thing was horrid.
Anyway, I actually like this knife, the blade-wise, aesthetically and performance-wise.
I like that blade shape.
Yeah, it's a cool blade shape for sure.
The geometry on it too, like really decently thin behind the edge. It's not like some of their hollow ground stuff, but it's more than acceptable for sure.
You put this in a premium profile with some high-end blade steel and some high-end handle materials, and all of us would be probably raving about this design and the performance and the comfort, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Cost for 8CR. I mean, I know you talked about that last episode, but
are we just jumping into another topic here?
The nice easy segue that was. Yep, let's just roll with it.
Well, you said higher end blade steel, we'll be raving about it. The reason we're not is because it's 8CR and you're still paying. I kind of thought that
it is in the budget category. The big thing with the price point, if we want to jump into that category, is realistically the markup for the Canadian dealers in particular. And Canadian retailers and the buyers themselves. Kershaw's adding an extra premium that they haven't in a while. For if you look at their exchange rate, and because we're having a hard time getting them into the country right now and whatever, Kershaw seems to be
premium for it,
asking a bit of a premium, which I'm not too happy about. But,
it's more than the exchange rate.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and bottom line, $100 for 8CR 13 or 14, 13 MOV. It's not a super compelling option unless you really love the design.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be the deciding factor for most people.
I was going to say, there's better options on the market for the same price or less. With
Definitely.
better steels. And
all of a sudden, even if you look at some of their direct competition, which is CRKT, and you're looking at an 8CR blade with a stainless steel handle and even ball bearing systems that CRKTs are using and things like that, that the mark isn't that far off.
True.
Depends on the knife.
you can get a $50, $60, $80 Canadian knife compared to the 90 plus that they're asking for the Boilermaker or whatever it may be, right? So even for budget options, not even considering a Rook knife into play.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the Civivis and the Kaisers and the, like, for a budget steel, you're paying a bit of a Kershaw tax nowadays.
For sure.
That being said, I did buy an induction, which has 8CR for around the same price. So if this really does speak to you, it could be worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth checking out.
Part of one of the hard pills to swallow as far as the price point, the plastic backspacer.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a letdown for sure.
It would have been nice if it was an actual steel one in there.
Or barrel spacers and just kept it skeletonized or whatever it may be. But the reason...
I don't know if they would have been able to do the pocket clip the same, because apparently it does actually key into the backspacer.
There's one metal plate that goes in behind with a single screw. And that was actually something that I was going to kind of gripe on as well. Is the only thing that's holding that pocket clip in place is one screw and a piece of plastic wedged between it.
That should work.
For the most part, it probably actually should, but...
I like the idea of why they did it. They were trying to hide the head of the screw so it didn't snag on your pocket.
Right.
We have complained about that with other deep carry knives before, but yeah, as far as what they set it into and how they set it,
a little upsetting.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more would it realistically have cost to cast in that design out of aluminum and do the same thing and with the same coating and then make it a nice cohesive. Anyway. And it makes me also doubly upset that this isn't compatible with a left-hand carry. I understand that there is a sweep, but they could have included another pocket clip, like Cold Steel does a lot of the time, and just remove a little bit of take a groove out of that liner.
Yeah, I think that's part of why it's not lefty compatible is the fact that to get the torsion bar hidden on the one side, it's got a liner just on the one side and it's not on the other.
Yeah.
So just to not interfere with that, I'm sure that's part of why it's not lefty as well.
And part of that as well, and it kind of annoyed me a little bit when I saw that, is they've got other models that are stainless steel handles, and they still just do a sub plate where the torsion bar sits.
Right.
And this one, they did kind of cut a corner, and instead of like actually milling it into the hand, they just covered it up
full
with
liner.
the entire liner. And was like, yeah, that'll work. And it just seems like, again,
kind of rushing to get it out sort of thing.
Instead of doing some internal milling to put that plate on. But they are already doing that with how many models that we've already played with, right? So it's weird where they made that choice.
Yeah, especially frustrating when you look along the edges of this knife and use, again, $100 price point, and you start to see gaps along the corners especially. Because this whole thing is either bead-blasted or stone-washed to hell.
As much as we've complained in the past about things not being chamfered enough, I think they actually did overdo it as far as the liner, because it's to the point that it's made a groove around the edge.
Get your fingernail in. Yeah. That's substantial.
I mean, at the end of the day...
Nothing makes you people happy. Under chamfer and you bitch, and then you over chamfer and you bitch some more.
You had one
exactly.
lower than me. So.
The point is, it's either over or under. It's not where it should be.
Just playing devil's advocate.
I understand. But,
I mean, it's the same argument we have with D10s.
Yeah.
Right? This is now falling into the fit and finish and like
exactly
that perfection, right?
Yep.
And at $100, I'm not expecting perfection, but...
Yeah, I'm not expecting intentional gapping either.
No. But there's also some inconsistencies on Kershaw's price points as well when it comes to regardless of fit and finish. Like you can have another knife that's 8CR, 13 MOV, stainless steel handle within a $25 or $30 price gap of each other, all in the
exact
same
knife, just different design.
And maybe not the internal skeletonizing,
same materials,
or
right.
But even still, to get that extra big coating and the milling and the is that really what we're paying for over time in performance, right? So,
and I'm not sure whether the handles were sculpted after being like milled or water jet, or if they were just cast into position. But I do actually like the effort of having a bit of a sweep towards the back end. Like there are positive elements to this knife.
Oh yeah.
It's just, it's odd that like this is where you choose to spend your effort and this is what we're paying for. Like, yeah, you're right. It is a little bit strange.
It's a fancy new coating, man. That's not cheap.
You mean they used a different food coloring dye?
Yeah.
And from the responses
No, they just
around
threw it
the
outside in
table,
a rusted for a while.
Yeah.
They clear coated on top.
Oh, they did a United Coloring. Okay, fair enough.
yeah, from the responses around the table, I can tell that it's really taken off. We're looking forward to more.
I don't hate that color. I don't hate that color.
I want to see it in a different option.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Do we want to get into pinchy points?
Sure. Yeah, as far as the ergos, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as myself, I get caught by the front corner of the lock bar there. My hand size is big enough that I'm pushed right up into there, and if I'm thinking about carving or bearing down on something, it's just a nice hot spot right there, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, the thing I was going to say is I definitely feel that pinch in my left hand more than in my right. The thing that really bothers me about this knife more than anything else, and I don't seem to be, I seem to be the only one, is what I'm trying to say, is as soon as I grab this knife, there's something in here that absolutely digs into the knuckle joint of my pinky finger, and it literally
your hand doesn't rest in this.
It's the
it's
corner of the
in
clerk
here.
and stuff,
I see.
yeah.
Yeah, see, it literally feels like somebody's grabbed my pinky finger and is like putting it into a pressure point kind of squeeze. It hurts so bad that like I wouldn't use the knife.
On the back of it. Yeah,
Which is surprising too, because like I barely feel what you're talking about, but it's not something that appears in my right hand.
It's something that's left a mark on my hand since yesterday.
Well, I noticed that. I'm like, what the heck? Holding the same knife, squeezing it? No.
Yeah, no, it's something about my hand that it's just hitting the right spots for me,
Very strange.
which is why I gave it a 4 for.
Yeah, like
Understandably.
like Nigel said, it's pinchy in some areas.
Yes.
And I notice it when I'm really trying to like get in close to do cuts like that. It's like, it's not ideal. Which is weird because they chamfered all the edges of this thing and they
It's smooth
sandblasted
in so
it to
many
hell.
ways.
Yeah.
Stonewashed it. whatever they
one
did.
of the things they didn't, though, was the insides,
Yeah, it was pretty crisp.
right? So with a knife that thin and with stainless steel, you do have to kind of consider the insides being a factor when it comes to the pinchiness, right? So
Right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The pinchy factor.
It's the pinchy factor.
It's a different channel.
It's the
I
Canadian
hate it.
flag with a finger.
I don't like any of that.
So it seems once again we're devolving into the silliness. Any other major talking points about this guy?
When does that not happen? We just had 10 minutes of that.
Did we specifically talk about how useless this jimping is?
No, we didn't.
Okay,
No.
it's useless. It's rounded.
Yeah.
There's no texture whatsoever. Actually, Joe pointed it out before recording, and I get more off the corner of the handle for texture than I do actually off the jimping itself.
That's funny.
Yeah, it really is an aesthetic thing more than anything else. I think with the upsweep of the blade, I think you can get your thumb up there for a lot better purchase. And
It just looks like I just gave you a thumbs up. For that.
But for all of you
Good
that are
for
going to
you.
say indexing, well, okay, but you can feel that flipper tab. Why do I need that jimping? The answer is you don't. It's weird. It's
The answer
There's
is
the answer.
you don't.
that ends all the forum questions right there.
Done and done.
I don't think anybody would like that.
Probably not.
No.
But before the lynch mob gets riled
Joe.
up, it comes after us, or Joe.
Yeah.
Gonna thank the Cutting Edge again for letting us use this guy for the review purposes.
I'm sorry, guys.
It was worth looking at, and for some people it might be the go-to, but
There are things I like about this knife.
Yeah.
And it can only go up from here.
Aspects I'd like to see done in potentially other knives.
right.
But yeah, I think this was a tester market to see if they could type of thing.
Yeah.
Gonna throw out the Patreon again here. Gonna request that you guys head on over there and donate away.
Do it.
Please.
Going to be doing some giveaways soon, both through Patreon and as well through our Instagram channel.
100%. Head on over to the Pokey Factor. You get some behind the scenes stuff, some shenanigans that we get into. Yeah.
Stay tuned for cool stuff.
Indeed.
That stuff. We are well on our way to 400 followers, so we're getting close.
Yep.
Yeah, got to start throwing up some options as far as some giveaways go.
Dennis has to make some decisions.
I'm starting to sweat a little bit.
The deadline's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, that being that, this is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Pipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
From Exile.ca.
We will catch you all again next week.
We don't need